Hey everyone. So, um, my name's Jerica, obviously, and um, I was, I guess you could say, challenged today to share my story with you all about why I have become a Beachbody coach. So, I've shared parts of my story with um, a lot of you, but I thought I would take this challenge on full force and share a little more in depth about who I am, where I come from, and how I got to this point. So, I was raised by my mother, um, who has a lot of siblings. There are a lot of them. And although I'm an only child, I have, I don't know, roughly high 30s or so first cousins on my mom's side. And so we all grew up pretty close, I guess. I mean, there's a pretty big gap of ages between us, but I'm actually the youngest of my generation. Not that any of this matters, but I'm just telling you that I come from a pretty big family. Um, so my mom did an awesome job, I think, raising me and sacrificing a lot of personal desires and goals, if you will, to make sure that I had what I needed and sometimes what I wanted. Uh, so my mom's pretty amazing. I have been pretty sickly, I guess, since a child. When I was about 6, I was diagnosed with a rare disease that landed me with a stay on and off of about 5 years at the National Institute of Health down in Bethesda, Maryland. So I basically became a guinea pig for the government. Um, I was one of the first people, children, women to be diagnosed with this rare disease in this country, and so my mom agreed to um, take me down to National Institute of Health, where they did, 5 years of extensive testing and tried different treatments, and so it was a pretty scary, uh, huge thing that I went through. Honestly, like I said, I was 6, just turned 6 when I first went down there, and I was 10 going on 11 the last time I went. Uh, Ironically enough, that experience really led me in the, I guess, towards the down the road of healthcare. So, as a small toddler, I had, I guess, told my mom and other family that I wanted to be a doctor. And then I went through that experience and knew that I was always going to end up in healthcare somehow, but wasn't really sure how that was going to pan out. So, up until I graduated, I really did have my heart set on becoming a pediatrician. I wanted to help children like those doctors helped me down in Maryland, and I, really wanted to give back, um, I guess. So I've always really had the desire to help others. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. So although I am currently working in healthcare, I have tons of weird, unique, I guess, interests uh, and desires, and so they've kind of led me on this crazy whirlwind of a ride through life. So I graduated high school early. I graduated at 16 and went straight to college, and that was a debacle in itself. Maybe I was too young and immature and too stressed out, but once again got sick, had some health issues, left college, and then really, I guess, kind of headed down this dark road of rebellion. I don't really know. I was, at that point, I was kind of unsure of who I was and who I was supposed to be. And so, really, from 17 until I was probably 20, those were my dark years. I didn't, well, I was going to say that I didn't do anything illegal, but I definitely did. I don't know. It was definitely a rough patch. And I kind of really lost my way. Lots of confusion, lots of uncertainties. Yeah, I get thinking back on that time now. I don't even really know how I made it out of that time period of my life. Actually, though, without I was in a really dark place, a place that I will never ever go back to. And somehow I found my way home. And it's interesting that um, you can be so lost and not really know uh, which way is up, how to get out, how to backtrack, how to move forward, um, and yet you can still find your way home. I knew at one point, I guess when I had hit my lowest of lows or rock bottom or whatever you want to call it, that if I could just get home, that I would be okay. And so that's what I did. I came home, and my mom, welcomed me back with open arms, and I was able to finally move forward. And I started going back to church and met some amazing people. I'm just thinking that it was right around that time that I met this woman, Nicole Pillay, who will probably be really upset that I am giving her the shout out in this video. But Nicole changed my life. Uh, she helped me out of a really bad spot. And she has remained um, such a good friend and such a strong part of who I am today. Um, she never judged me. She never really, she let me be who I was, and she met me where I was at, and she never stopped praying for me, and she was just a really great friend, and I guess I um, owe a lot to her. So thank you, Nicole, for sticking by me and just helping me find my way. So, anyways, um, at that time, I started really to, I guess, pay better attention, or try to at least pay better attention to um, my body. It was right around this time that I was really struggling. I always struggled with my weight, and I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the experimental drugs and treatments that I received as a child. Weight just packed on, and I couldn't get it off. I was fairly active um, in school, and but nothing really seemed to budge as far as the scale. So, yeah, I became more aware, kind of, and I dibbed and dabbed in um, sports. I mean, I wasn't really a huge sports person. I participated in sports in school. I swam a lot because swimming was like the only thing that I really could do when I was younger and going through all that stuff back at NIH. So I couldn't do anything contact. I ever never actually really participated in a gym class until my freshman year of high school. I don't know how many people know that, but I wasn't allowed to play sports or anything contact because they were too afraid that my bones would shatter and all this other crazy stuff. So actually, it was eighth grade. So those people that I played softball with in eighth grade and at Dundee Central, first time I ever picked up a bat when I was 13 years old. So I never participated in any gym class, any sports, any extracurricular activities outside of a swimming pool until I was 13 years old. So sports really weren't my thing because I mean, by the time I was 13, everybody around me, grew up playing Little League or T-ball or what have you, and I had never, ever, ever played a sport, picked up a ball or a bat or anything, like I said, until I was 13. Um, so by the time I was, in my early 20s, I didn't really know what to do. I just kind of did my own thing, and obviously it wasn't working. Um, so let me just fast forward a couple of years. I never really had a strong relationship with my father, and as an adult, um, we finally started to, I guess, begin a relationship um, when I was like 22, 23, and it seemed like as soon as we finally started to build a relationship, my father died. So, and with that came a whole nother slew of things. I found out that I had a brother that I had never heard anything about prior to my father passing. And so that came with um, its own emotional roller coaster. Um, and so that kind of sent me into another downward spiral. There were so many unanswered questions and so many questions that will remain unanswered. And um, I found myself um, just angry and confused and hurt. And so, what do most people do when they feel those type of things? They so I never really gained or lost any weight. I guess you can say I kind of have stayed within the same 20 pounds, really, my entire adult life. So it didn't really matter what I did. I tried, low carb, high fat, low carb, not eating, binge eating. I don't know. You name it, I probably tried it, and I still played with the same 10, 15 pounds, and that was it. um, right around the same time that my father passed away, um, I was working at this winery, and there was this girl that worked there, and I didn't really know her, but I knew um, the person that she was engaged to, or had been engaged to. Um, and so this girl, Jackie, um, decided that she was going to move back to Boston. And so I actually took Jackie's position at this winery that we worked at. And so um, during that transition of me moving into Jackie's position and Jackie leaving, um, we kind of started a friendship. And so, I kind of kept tabs on her intermittently, I guess, when she first moved away. And somehow she became a really, really good friend. Um, and so Jackie had approached me last January and was like, hey, I know that you've been like working out and trying to lose weight. And she was like, there's this webinar that's happening, this coming Wednesday, and you gotta get on it. And I'm like, no, like I'm busy. I just started this new job, and um, I just started Weight Watchers, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Thanks, Jackie. So she was like, alright, but um, I would hate for you to like miss out on this, and I know this is something that you would absolutely love. And I was like, yeah, well, I just started something new, so let me try this, and thanks. And so she just kind of left it at that, and never really pushed. And so every once in a while, I mean, we talked more than once in a while, but every once in a while, usually, like, I guess looking back on it, I would say it was probably like once a month or so, um, Jackie would just ask me, like, hey, how's the weight loss going, blah, 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 blah. And it was the same thing that it had always been. Oh, I lost 5 pounds. Oh, I gained 7. Oh, I lost 10 pounds. Oh, I gained 12. Playing with the same weight, and it was getting really, really frustrating. And so last year um, was a really, really bad year for my family. I lost 2 aunts and 2 uncles in one calendar year. Um, two of them 3 weeks apart. And so losing a family member is hard. Losing four of them in just, over 13 months is something that I cannot describe to you. Um, Unbearable, I guess would be close. And every time someone died, I thought, you know, this person died as a result of some disease that stems back to diet and exercise. Diabetes, stroke, And I couldn't help but think, you know, this is not how I want to live. This is not how I want to die. Um, and the pain that I felt and still feel, I would not wish upon my worst enemy. So I just remember feeling this overwhelming desire to finally be healthy and finally be able to live. And it was right around this same time um, that Jackie approached me once again and said, I have this fitness group that's going to take place, and, it's just a bunch of people just like you and I who are, you know, all joining together to um, motivate and inspire one another and just help each other out. And, I think that you would really enjoy being in this group. And so I joined it, and it was life changing. I know it probably sounds ridiculous that some, group of 500 people that I've never met before in my life, how that can be life changing, but it was life changing. Um, it, and it was perfect timing. It was last July, uh, and I haven't missed a challenge group since. And um, I'm a different person now than I was a year ago. I'm a stronger person physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally than I was a year ago. Um, and it's because of this. It's because of Beachbody. It's because of these challenge groups. It's because of Jackie. You know, that I finally gave it a chance. And my only regret is that I didn't do it in January when Jackie first told me about it. I, it's amazing. So, anyways, uh, so last July, um, after being in one challenge group, um, Jackie was like, "Hey, um, Pio is on sale this week or this month," and she um just started telling me about this challenge pack thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yep, everything that I've tried up to now hasn't worked, and um in 3 weeks I was sold. I've never ever been a part of something where people are so welcoming and so helpful and so uh, real, and just honestly want to help people. And like I said in the beginning of this, I've always been a helper. I've always wanted to help people and never really knew what that meant or what that was going to look like. And all of a sudden, this opportunity was placed in front of me, and it was like the lights went off, the bells, the sirens, everything. And I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I made a vow um, to myself and to my family last July that I would be an example um, for them and for me and for those that have come behind me, um, be an example on how to be healthy, to exercise, to um, just really push aside all the excuses that we have. The odds are stacked against me and against my family. I mean, our family history is not good. Every disease that you can probably think of, someone in my family has it. And, you know, most of the people that have passed away in my family have been um, younger than 60. And, I'm 28. So, no, that's not okay with me. I want to be in a strawberry Smucker's jar, which means that I have to be at least 100. And so I, want to be that example. And I want to help end this trend in my family and in this country. And um, Beachbody is allowing me to do that. There's been a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that are like, that's too expensive, that's too this, that doesn't work, that's a pyramid scheme, that's a whatever. And what I can tell you is that it works for me. When nothing else worked, this worked. And so for me, this is it. Like, this is it. Um, and I want to help as many people that want to be helped, and I want to support and motivate and inspire as many people as I can. Um, I want to leave my mark on this world, and I want to know that when I leave this world, that there are people's lives that are better because of this journey that I'm making completely transparent for you to see. So, yes, I probably am flooding your newsfeed with um, fitness posts and with my journey. And all I can tell you is that if you are tired of seeing it, then unfriend me because I am not stopping. In fact, it's probably going to explode. So I just want to give you all a fair warning that this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. It's who I am. It's who I've become. And I won't apologize for it. So um, I want to help as many people as I can help. And I want to end this trend um, of obesity and lives cut short in my own family. I don't ever, ever, ever want to relive 2013 ever again. I don't ever want to have to feel the way that I felt last summer ever again. I want, to have my mom around. Um, I love my family. I love my aunts and my uncles and my cousins, and I wouldn't be who I am without them. And I want them to be around for a long time. For a long time. I don't ever want to have to endure what I endured last year. And because of Beachbody, I'm making strides toward that goal every day. So that is why I've become a Beachbody coach. That is why I'm flooding your news feeds and all of your social media sites with my journey. Um, I truly believe that this is part of my calling. This is right now. This is what God has for me, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with all of my heart. And so I appreciate um, all the love and the support. I appreciate all of the text messages, the emails, the inbox messages, the comments on Instagram. you guys have been amazing, and I really appreciate the support on this journey. And I hope that this message touches somebody today. So I love you guys, and thank you, Jenny and Justin, for pushing me out of my comfort zone and making me post this video.